Welcome to The Explainer. We all watch football for the incredible skill, the drama, the last minute goals, but today we're peeling back the curtain a little bit. We're going to look at what happens when the script gets completely tossed out the window, exploring the stories that are just too strange, too shocking, and way too human to be made up.
So, what does happen when the beautiful game goes completely off the rails? Well, it turns into a stage for, high stakes human drama, jaw dropping deception, and just pure wonderful absurdity. Let's dive in.
All right, let's kick things off on the biggest stage you can possibly imagine. We're talking about a single moment of just raw, unfiltered psychological warfare that people are still talking about years and years later. Okay, so picture this. It's the 2006 FIFA World Cup final. For the French captain, the legendary Zinedine Zidane, this is it, his last match ever. The perfect fairy tale ending is right there, just waiting for him.
But yeah, that fairy tale ending, it just gets ripped to shreds. Deep into extra time, the whole world is glued to their screens, and a few alleged words from Italian defender Marco Materazzi, well, they just lit a fuse. And in a split second, Zidane's entire career narrative gets a brand new, shocking final chapter.
And this just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you have the legend, this graceful, almost artistic player. And on the other, his final act on a football pitch, a sudden, shocking headbutt. It's this crazy reminder that under all that fame and skill, there's just a person. And yeah, under enough pressure, anyone can snap. Okay, so Zidane's headbutt? That was pure, raw emotion boiling over. But what happens when it's not about losing control, but about a calculated plan to deceive everyone? Let's dive into a story that's so bold, it seems like something out of a movie. So you might not have heard the name Ali Dia, but man, in the mid-90s, this guy exposed a massive hole in the whole professional football system. We're talking about a time just before the internet made everything verifiable in seconds. A time when a really convincing phone call could, apparently, land you a pro contract.
And look how fast this all went down. One phone call, supposedly from superstar George Weah, and the very next day, Ali Dia has a contract with a Premier League club. A few days later, he's actually playing. It's just wild how easily the system was played back then.
His teammate, the legendary Matt Letitia, put it best. Bambi on ice. I mean, you can just see it, can't you? This wasn't a pro having an off day. This was a total imposter, way out of his league, making a top-flight football match look like an absolute farce. So, Ali Dia tricked a club about his identity. But there's another, more insidious kind of deception that's been a shadow over sports for decades: cheating to enhance performance. And this one involves some of the biggest names in the game. Wow, I mean, just look at this list. These aren't just random players. We're talking about legends of the game, tactical geniuses. It really cuts across every era and every level of the sport. It just goes to show you that the pressure to be the best, to stay at the top, can push anyone towards breaking the rules. Nobody, it seems, is immune. All right, so we've seen an individual snap under pressure, and we've seen deception for personal gain. But what about when an entire team decides to break the game? Not to cheat and win, but to make a statement. A really, really bizarre statement. 149-0. No, that is not a typo. That is the actual final score of a professional football match. The first question that pops into your head has to be, how on earth is that even possible? Well, here's how. The losing team, so Le Marini, felt like they'd been cheated out of the league title by some terrible refereeing in their previous match. So, with nothing left to play for, they decided to turn their last game into a protest on a scale nobody had ever seen before. And it was methodical. From the moment the game started, they'd just pass the ball back and score an own goal. Then they'd do it again, and again, and again. One own goal roughly every 36 seconds, and the other team, they just stood there and watched the whole surreal spectacle unfold. Okay, a 149-0 protest is definitely out there. But trust me, it's just one chapter in football's long, weird history book. The sport is filled with these little footnotes and records that sound completely made up. Take this number, 36. What is that? That's the Guinness World Record for the most red cards in one game. Yep, a match in Argentina descended into a full-on brawl, and the ref just had enough. He sent off every single person. Players, subs, coaches, everyone. And you want to talk about absurdity? Look at the money in football.
On one hand, you've got players being sold for more than 100 million euros. And on the other hand, we have the true story of a Romanian player who was treated to another club for 500 kilograms of meat. You can't make this stuff up.
And these off-field injuries, they're just fantastic. They remind you that these guys who seem like superhumans are, just people. People who can miss the World Cup because of a dropped aftershave bottle or need surgery because they got a little too into their video games.
So, okay, we've looked at all these wild stories, the passion, the fraud, the protest, the just plain weird. Why do they matter? Why are we so drawn to these moments where it all goes wrong? Because at the end of the day, football isn't just a sport. It's a mirror. It reflects everything about us: our brilliance, our tempers, our cleverness, our flaws, and our unbelievable ability to be completely and utterly ridiculous. It makes you wonder, though, in today's game, with VAR watching every move, with cameras everywhere, and with billions of dollars on the line, has football lost some of its capacity for this kind of pure weirdness? Or is the human element always going to find a way to surprise us? And are the most bizarre chapters still yet to be written?